All right, guys. Here. Well, I was going to have him there for you guys just for a second, but he's already gone. All right. Anyway, let's see here. We are definitely live. I was trying to catch the rabbit because I know so many times you guys keep wanting to see this rabbit, and uh, he's normally always right here. Well, he's at my feet again, but I didn't know if he would hop up here with me for just a second. He likes getting on the desk. That's for sure. Let's see. Let's try to get him again. Come here. Come here. Come here. There we go. Here is the culprit of everything in the office when you hear all the trouble going on in the background. It's this little guy right here. We call him Nibbles. So maybe he'll get down and not get on the desk. Good. That's very good. Shalom, everybody. It's a little bit late on this end here for us to be coming on. It is a Shabbat Shalom to you guys out there as well. And I just had something here that I wanted to share with you. There's so much talk right now of the judgment coming on Damascus. And as I've said many times before, it is not God's perfect will that Damascus is brought under this type of judgment, as we can see by the prophecy of Isaiah 17, destroying the Damascus will destroy the very fortress that has been given for Ephraim's descendants, the Christians that are living there in Syria. And at the same time, we see that God says that you have forgotten the God of your salvation. You've forgotten the rock of your fortress, which clearly shows that both Israel, the modern state of Israel, as well as the United States, are directly implicated for the demise of Syria, of the demise of Damascus. And so it's very troubling when we look at this. And I was, of course, keeping in mind, too, that Russia is selling the S-3, or considering very seriously giving the S-300 system to the Syrian government. Israel's, some of their leaders have already said if they do, they'll blow them all up. And of course, we've looked at the prophecy here in Amos chapter 1, verse 3. Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Damascus, yea, for 4, I will reverse it, because they have threshed Gilead with sledging irons. Actually, I think it's before that part there. Let me see, I forget exactly where that's at, where it talks about, here it is. It's in verse 5. And I will break the bar of Damascus. And of course, I've been wondering if that S-300 system is not that bar of Damascus. But here's what gets me. So many people look at this, they look at the prophecies here in Amos chapter 1. We might argue that these are prophecies that were fulfilled years ago, maybe. It could be cyclical events that we're still looking at, though, in modern times. We also see Gaza falling under these judgments as well. And people, like I said, or many of them are quick to point out, Gaza, Damascus, oh, what's going to happen to them? All right, now, but what we forget, though, is chapter 2 of Amos. You got chapter 1, you have chapter 2, and chapter 2 continues these judgments that are going to fall. As it says here, thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Moab, and yea, for 4 I will not reserve, because he burned the bones of the kingdom of Edom, king of Edom, into lime. So I will send a fire upon Moab, and it shall devour the palaces of Kiroth. All right. Now, Moab, is that the country of Jordan, perhaps? Maybe. But here comes the big issues. And what's interesting, Judah doesn't get as much judgment as the house of Israel does. But the house of Israel's judgment over here in Amos chapter 2 really brings out some interesting information that you guys, I think, really need to know about. Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Judah, yea, for 4 I will not reverse it, because they have rejected the law of the Lord and have not kept his statutes. And their lies have caused them to err, after which their fathers did walk. So will I send a fire upon Judah, and it shall devour the palaces of Jerusalem. Now, we might argue this is what happened 2,000 years ago in 70 AD, and that could be so. But it could also be a cyclical event because we know that there is a prophecy never been fulfilled. 2/3 of the people of Israel would actually be killed. Something that Simon Tov says he believes is about to take place under the direction of Prime Minister Netanyahu. Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Israel. Now, this isn't the modern state of Israel. Watch the verbiage used in these next places here and tell me if it doesn't speak of the United Kingdom and the United States collectively. For 3 transgressions of Israel, yea, for 4, I will not reverse it, because they sell the righteous for silver and the needy for a pair of shoes. A sellout. That pant after the dust of the earth on the head of the poor, and turn aside the way of the humble, and a man his father go into the same maid to profane my holy name. That sounds a lot like the U.S. warmongering leaders that we have in our nation going way back. Isn't it interesting? They pant after the dust of the earth. Alafa Aretz, the desert places. In other words, they just got to have it. They want Iraq. They want Syria. Bush needed Iraq, needed the oil over there. Now they're after Syria. And let me tell you something. This is not just limited to the United States. You got Great Britain involved, and France as well. They turn aside the way of the humble, and a man, his father, going to a same maid to profane my holy name. Look at over there in Vietnam, all the cases of rape that came out of that country when we went to war there. Very interesting book about that. It was called A Vatican's War. And they lay themselves down beside every altar upon clothes taken in pledge. In the house of their God, they drink the wine of them that have been fined. Defiled, I think, is another way you can translate that as well. They lay themselves down beside every altar upon clothes taken in pledge. It doesn't matter. Land of the free. Buddhist, monk, Zen, Hindu, Muslim, whatever you want to be. Yet destroyed I the Amorite before them. And he's going back to the ancient times when they came out of the house of Israel. They came out, and the one time that it was honorable, a war was honorable, was when the children of Israel came up to the land of Israel that we know of today, and they came up there because of all these Raphaim, the Nephilim, the Zamzamim, and the different giants that were there. And God was delivering the land to their hands because it was ridding the land of these demonic beings that were on the face of the earth. So he says, yet destroyed I the Amorite before them, whose height was like the height of cedars. And he was strong as the oaks, yet I destroyed his fruit from above and his roots from beneath. Also I brought you up out of the land of Egypt and led you 40 years in the wilderness to possess the land of the Amorites. And I raised up your sons for prophets and your young men for Nazarites. Is it not even thus, O you children of Israel, saith the Lord? But you gave the Nazarites wine to drink and commanded the prophets, saying, prophesy not. Don't want to know anything that's true. Behold, I will make a creek under you as a cart creaketh, that it is full of sheaves, and the flight shall fail the swift, and the strong shall not exert his strength, neither shall the mighty deliver himself. Neither shall he stand that handleth the bow, and he that is swift of foot shall not deliver himself, neither shall he that rideth the horse deliver himself. And he that is courageous among the mighty shall flee away naked in that day, saith the Lord. Guys, we got some judgment coming. We got some serious judgment coming. And it's so interesting especially in light of Isaiah 17, knowing that God says to us, we have forgotten the God of our salvation, and we are not mindful of the rock, which is Christ Jesus. That's why our warmongering leaders are willing to go over there and kill these Syrian people. What did they do? What did they do to deserve it? You know, I was on Twitter today, and there was some things came up about the white helmets. I was going to retweet it, and then Partisan Girl, the girl, I know people say she doesn't live in Syria, but nonetheless, she's trying to make a stand for the Syrian people. And I really appreciated what she had to say there. And so I tried to retweet what she was writing and also including a comment on there. In both case, in fact, every case dealing with Syria in a positive light, I was blocked. One point says, the message came up on Twitter, oh, we done something wrong? Have we done something wrong? What do you mean have we done something wrong? I mean, this is insane. I sent a message to Vanessa Beeley. She wrote back, she said, yeah, we're all being blocked. You know, there's no freedom of speech in America. The only thing is they just haven't passed the laws to put us in prison yet. Give them time. I hear they're going to do forced vaccination. States are moving for forced vaccination. They're going to disarm the nation as well. Don't worry. They're getting ready. And maybe the only reason why President Trump really wants to bring troops home is to make sure nobody can leave the United States. That's coming too. But we got judgment coming. It's not just the Middle East. It'll be America as well. Very troubling what we're seeing here, friends. I just wanted to share a little bit of this with you tonight here as we enter into the Sabbath week, Sabbath evening here already. Just getting started for many of you guys in the United States here fairly soon. And just ought to be a little bit of a blessing. But, you know, I'm just amazed at how all these things are overlooked. And we don't normally take it into consideration. Very, very troubling indeed. Very troubling indeed. Anyway, blessings to you guys. I will be checking back in with you guys tomorrow as well. And just trust God will bless you. And do remember us in your giving when God lays that upon your heart. We appreciate it so tremendously much. IsraeliNewsLive.org. Shalom. Good evening, guys. And glad y'all got to see the rabbit finally anyway.